Hi, thank you for watching a new video blog. From minimalism to survivalism. I went from minimalism to survivalism. When I started vlogging in 2013, one of the first video vlogs that I made was about minimalism. Unfortunately, it's in Dutch, so international viewers will not really understand it unless they know Dutch. They speak Dutch. But it was about minimalism. I was always critical of civilization, of society, and always focused on nature. And this has grown stronger and stronger each year. I can see that when I recorded the video in 2013, I was really still like a city guy, living in the city, focused on being in the city, saw my future in the city. And in that way, of course, minimalism is an interesting option to explore back in these days. As a city guy, I was thinking that by reducing the amount of materialism that I have, the amount of stuff that I have, reducing it to such a degree that you can just live in maybe a studio, which I was also doing back then. I was living in a studio. So you could save money first of all, and you could invest this money. This was my thinking back then. Nothing in my mind was really set on leaving the city, on going back to nature, or becoming more self-sufficient, self-sustaining. I wasn't really focused on that. I was mainly focusing on reducing my living costs, because living in the city is quite expensive. And you can do this by minimalizing, reducing the amount of stuff you have so that you can live smaller, and also you will not spend a lot of money. That was my thinking in these days. But that's what minimalism still is. It's something for people that are living in the city and need to reduce their costs. If you see these crazy pictures or videos or people that are living in New York in just like a box basically, or in Hong Kong, or in Singapore, or wherever in Japan, where housing prices are incredibly obscene. And you think, oh well, they're smart, they're living in a box, they don't need much. Sure, for a city person, you're doing it better than paying $5,000 a month for a little bit bigger apartment where you can stuff a little bit more. But of course it's a wrong way of thinking. My minimalistic area was a wrong way of thinking. I'm still objecting a lot of materialism. I'm still objecting buying a lot. But my focus has shifted from minimalism, which is basically a city ideology, towards survivalism, which is focused on nature. And it's interesting how I slowly progressed from the city guy that was focusing on reducing his cost, wanted to invest, but already eating more natural. I was back then, I was doing a low carb diet. I was focusing more on more natural foods, on reducing a lot of bad low carb foods. I started to slowly understand what nature was, but not at its full. I was just maybe exploring 1%. So I was focusing on a more natural life, but it was just such a small part. And this grew over the years. It just built up just like a puzzle. Every time there comes a next piece to it. And so it's really funny to see myself back then, understanding a little bit, but progressing in this thinking more and more. And I remember a few years later, when I visited, for example, Scandinavia a lot, Denmark, Sweden, Finland, I started to understand that nature is everything, and I started to shift more and more away from city towards nature. And if you focus more on nature, if you want to self-sustaining, self-sufficient, etc., you need to focus on survivalism and how to survive in nature. Also, survivalism came in my life because I gradually started to lose my faith in society and in civilization. Because back then in 2013 I was still thinking that civilization was something to be proud of, that you need to save, that I was thinking, oh, we need to fight for the West or something weird, you know, like, oh, we have to be very proud of our civilized past, of the Roman area, for example, just basically slavery. But I still had this thinking that civilization is something that you need to be proud of, that you need to support, that's really okay to be part of. And over the years, of course, things happened, and you start to open your eyes and see there's nothing to save about society or civilization. There's nothing to be proud of. It's just all one big mess, and you need to stay away as far as possible as you can. And that happened every area. First you had, of course, 2013, let me think back, well, we had the IS attacks, you know, the many attacks around Europe, mainly focused in cities, on areas that are very civilized. Then, of course, later we got the sea virus thing, where you'd be locked in your city home, and you couldn't get out. I saw pictures of people in cities that are just forced into the cities, and every time it was, to me, a push towards going more and more and more into nature. And that's my main focus for now, to be every day, to be more close to nature, and eventually going back fully in nature, step by step. You have to do it step by step, not too fast. And survivalism is one of the things that can help you achieve this and understand this and survive. When you are self-sustaining and self-sufficient, you need survival skills. You need to understand how to get food, how to get water, how to live in nature. So I found it very interesting to see that I went from this more like Buddhistic thinking, like, oh, you need less stuff, and you still can live in an apartment 12 high, and then you'll be happy. Well, you notice that when you do minimalism, you will not be happy. You're just a little bit more happy, because indeed materialism is clinging to you like some bad thing that is hanging on to you. But only reducing this is not making you fully happy. Absolutely not. Just a small bit. Okay, you have less stuff to care about, fine, but you're still living in a box, in the sky, in a polluted city, no nature. It will not make you happy. Being in nature really fulfills you, really makes you happy. So you need to shift from this minimalistic thinking. Oh, I live in a city, I need a career, blah 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 blah, so I can travel a lot, spend basically money when you're traveling, to be happy in nature, to be happy with a simpler life and sustaining yourself and developing survival skills. That's what I'm doing now. I'm developing survival skills, learning to hunt, learning how to find food in nature, preparing the hunted prey that you have, that you, for example, make things out of it that you can use. How is it to sleep outdoors? How can I survive bad weather conditions? And many of these things. How to make a fire. To me, this is more important, more interesting, and absolutely a necessity if you want to survive the future. Eventually it will collapse and people will be left poor and broken again. And this is the time that you have to be already in nature, already knowing how to survive far away from civilization. So that is my travel from 2013 to almost 10 years later, from minimalism to survivalism. And it is really important to focus on this, living more natural, rejecting civilization, and focus on coming closer and closer with nature. So that was it for today. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.